In this tutorial, I will demonstrate how to make a simple drawing that Bradley can use to generate a partitions quote for a retrofit project. The drawing does not need to be perfect or to scale. It just needs to include the right information and a few key measurements, which I will cover in this video. Using the restroom pictured as an example, I will walk through the steps to create a drawing for this configuration. The restroom includes one ADA stall, one standard stall, and 2 urinal stalls. The partition style is floor-mounted, overhead braced, which is one of our most common types. First, write down basic information about the project. Make sure to include the site name, city and state, type of material, style of partition, name of the restroom, and the distributor's name. Next, draw the walls. In our example, we have 3. Notate the walls using double hash marks. Next, draw in the toilets, urinals, partition panels, and doors. For the doors, make sure to indicate if they are hinged on the left or the right side. Also indicate if they swing in or out. In our example, both doors are hinged right and swing in. Okay, our drawing is coming along. Now it's time to add our dimensions. There are 4 basic dimensions that we need to measure and include on the drawing. The first dimension is the length of the walls. The second is the depth of the partition stalls. Make sure to measure the depth of any urinal screens as well. For our third dimension, we will want to measure the width of each stall. You do not need to measure the widths of the urinal stalls. And finally, the fourth dimension we need is the width of the door openings. In this example, I have 2 doors to measure. It's worth noting that you do not need to measure the height for floor mount overhead braced partitions. But for other styles, such as ceiling hung or floor to ceiling, you would need to include those measurements with your drawings. Now that we have our drawing set up, we can take our measurements. So, step 1, measure the wall length. When measuring the wall length, measure from the wall to the outermost edge of the partition panel. Since the ADA stall is an alcove, I need to measure the adjacent wall as well. Next, step 2, measure the partition depth from the back wall to the front edge of the pilaster. Make sure to measure any urinal screens as well. For step 3, measure the widths of each stall from panel to panel. I will have 2 widths to measure, the ADA stall and the standard stall. And finally, step 4, measure the width of each door opening. Once you've added your dimensions, your drawing is complete. It's important to note Bradley will make every effort to duplicate the dimensions of your drawings, but slight variations may occur. To get your engineered drawing and quote, shown here, you can either email or fax the drawing to Bradley's quoting department, or you can use Quotable, Bradley's partitions design tool.